Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Internet Friends. The episode where we asked, was that bad?
Oh,
What exactly are we talking about?
Some foreshadowing for what's to come.
we can't start with that.
Oh man. Hey, it was
The war in
great
Iran,
to
man.
Yeah, I was going to say it was great to have a break from the supposed holy war that we're actually dealing with
Right.
to view the stages leading up to another holy war in fiction.
Hey, yeah. I was making a joke earlier today. It's just like, plowing the roads, I'd rather my taxes be going to bombing a Middle Eastern country.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's
gas
where
is
the money
in
really.
here, by the way, so it's brutal. But I'll blame Biden for that. I think
No.
it's probably still his fault. So.
Somehow, still Biden's fault. Yeah, no, I've started seeing ice where I am, and that's been like kind of like holy fuck, shit.
Yep.
Shit's getting real.
No, I've been talking to.
Yeah, they're not going away anywhere.
They're starting to drip out of DC, and they're like starting to like hit parts of Maryland now, and yeah, just it's getting pretty nuts. And like very specifically, I've talked to a lot of people. It's just like, yeah, DC's almost a ghost town now because people just aren't even bothering being there and being out and about.
No, I see that.
Super fair.
It's safer to stay home.
Yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely.
No matter who you are.
Yeah,
Literally at this point, like they'll kill anybody.
Such a
you know
great.
that. So.
Yeah. They won't just gun you down for your skin color anymore. They'll do it if you're even mildly standing in their way.
Pretty much.
Yep. That's cool. That's a free government, everybody. That's It's a free nation we're living in.
Yeah, that's how due process works.
100%.
Oh my god.
Well,
that started this off on a just horrendous note.
Yeah, well, we're going to zero to political faster and faster every day on the show.
Just like you gotta respect Iran's like whole thing of just like, oh, you're gonna attack us? Let this shit fucking burn. You just kind of have to respect that. I'm not supportive of Iranian leadership, by the way.
No one's saying that. But we're also saying just like, so what exactly are we doing? What are we doing?
What's in those files? Let us know because we're doing everything else and releasing them.
Oh my god. I did hear that Pam Bondi is being like brought in again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was going to let you finish your thought.
No, just that. Yeah, no, she's being subpoenaed again and everything else.
Good. Absolutely good. They are doing.
Go ahead.
They're just doing everything to try and distract us. Like, war? Will war work?
Apparently, I'm supposed to be getting approved pretty soon for top 250 law firms to work with for my job. So there's a chance that I might be sitting in on some of these in the near future.
Oh boy!
Oh no! Oh, do you have currently a good therapist, or have you started like fielding them?
We're definitely in the fielding stages of this.
Okay, good. Because if you get that promotion, you're gonna need it.
Oh, I got the promotion already. Now it's about whether or not I get the training for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, so that'll be fun. I will just state for the record, I was not the leak this time.
Later leaks, I will not comment on.
I plead the fifth.
Just like, oh my god, did you see Bill? Yeah. Did you see Bill Clinton, that clip of Clinton looking at photos of him from the Epstein files and being like fully reminiscent and like, and then his lawyer tries to grab him away. He's like, no, I'm not done. I'm not done looking at these.
You'd be surprised.
I did not see that, but that's hilarious.
That is not surprising to me in the slightest. As somebody who sits in on depositions, there's just some things where it's just like, dude, you need to learn how to keep a straighter face.
Yeah.
Nightmare. It's all a nightmare.
It is. Truly.
Speaking of a nightmare,
Let's talk about hell.
yeah, let's talk about hell. So our homework assignment for this week was Hazbin Hotel Season 2, which was assigned to us by Bree. So we did the first season actually as our very first homework assignment here on Internet Friends. So we finally come full circle to doing the second season.
That was our first one.
That was our first. That was our first homework assignment, not our first episode. Our first episode was kind of a reintroduction.
Yeah, it was just hanging out. Yeah.
Yeah, but first homework assignment. So a lot's changed since then, and there's I have some thoughts, but Bree, since it's your homework assignment, I'm gonna go ahead and let you have the floor.
Yeah, so I know this has been kind of we've been discussing doing this for a while, and it just never felt like the right time. So, but I was like, I don't know, I don't have anything else. There's some other things I have in the pipeline, but I want to keep those for later. So, I have watched this actually, I want to say completely through, I think 3 to 4 times, just because I had watched it with other people. And I will say I have felt like all of the different things about it. And I have a lot of affection for this show, and I still do. And I do think in a lot of ways this season is a lot better than the last season, for a variety of reasons. And I think something that we could probably all agree on at the get-go is the animation budget went fucking through the roof on this season.
My
the animation
first note,
gorgeous.
It is. My first note was I can immediately tell they have a bigger budget. Like
100%. And it went to the animation and to like they're a really, really fucking good cast. Like I think despite how you feel about the show, the cast is fucking phenomenal. They really got the best of the best for this. Like they are, if I believe pretty much all of them are Broadway actors, and you could see it and hear it in the music. And the animation is so fluid and so cool. Like honestly, I've rewatched quite a few of these episodes just to like see the fluidity of the animation, because it's like it's state of the art. Like clearly this is where so much of the budget went. I will say also that I feel like this season, and this might be a silly thing to say, but this feels a lot more like a musical than the first season does. I feel like it flows a lot more like a musical, whereas the first season had musical elements, but this one has a lot more of reprises in this and like songs tying together. So I would say generally speaking, I like this season quite a bit. I there's certainly some flaws that we'll discuss kind of throughout this, but I'm gonna go to Seth first with this. So how you feeling on this?
I loved this season. I don't remember my thoughts on the first season. I remember liking it a lot. I loved this. And my last note is why do I always cry during Bree's picks? Because the last episode I was in tears. Yeah, I thought the animation was incredible. Like specifically, let's see which episode. The fight in episode 4 really stuck out to me, which is Alistair and Vox and both of their cohorts or whatever fighting each other. I thought the choreography for that fight was just beautiful and exceedingly well done. Based off of what I remember seeing from TikTok, I thought the music wouldn't be as strong. I think the music is stronger in this. And it actually made me want to rewatch the Doomstar Requiem, which is the Metalocalypse musical, because I was like, I am enjoying this so much that I really want to experience other musicals that are kind of in this vein, but not really. And so I actually did. I did rewatch the Doomstar Requiem, and I had a great time. The music in this is better, and I say that as a Brendan Small fan. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Oh, that makes me so happy. So I was like, I think you both are gonna be like, this fucking sucks, but we haven't gotten to Aaron yet. So that's why I was
So what I will say is that you guys are both objectively correct. The animation is better, the music is better, and as a result, I don't like it as much as the first season. And
oh, interesting.
Because like yes, they definitely more budget went to the animation. The music I think on pretty much all accords, it's like it's technically more impressive. And they switched to a more especially on the animation, they definitely switched to a more like model rig style of animation as opposed to the previous style of animation, which I wouldn't call freehand, but was like, a little bit more freeform, because if you go back to the pilot, that was like completely freeform. It was refined more in this. Refined down. And I think just all the refinements just kind of ended up making it feel watered down for me for some reason. Like I felt less engaged. And again, you guys are technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
Absolutely it is.
But to personal preference for me, it kind of made it hard. And I felt certain things about some of the narrative decisions were kind of like, okay, but why did you do that? Why does this character feel sidelined? Why are we going in this direction? There were so many of those things that kind of just like, I just didn't, it made it to where it's just like, I didn't enjoy it as much. I think very specifically the thing about the animation that I didn't like is that certain characters lost some of their personality, very specifically Alistair, in my opinion. Because if you go back to the first season, the way they kind of elongated him and his more amorphous shape made him more dreary to me and more like kind of just like intimidating. This model style, he's more consistent across frames, and he just seems less imposing to me this season, which granted that narratively was something that they were trying to do. He's dealing with the fact that he lost, which is something that he's not used to. But it took away so many kind of things that I liked about the last season. And specifically also kind of going to the music, there wasn't any song that specifically sticks with me. There's no like Loser Baby, which is just like that thing was stuck in my head for always. Like I can't really recall any of the songs from this season because none of them really hooked me in that way.
Dude, I've had Nifty's song about the hotel stuck in my head since clips on TikTok. I love that song.
And that's the other thing. It's just like
fun.
I didn't get Algorithm by this season when it was coming out. So like it's like I was pretty much completely blind. I didn't know any of the songs from this season. And so and so I haven't been algorithm by it. So I guess haven't been inundated with it as much to know like why it's stuck with people. But like I'm not, you could tell that a lot of time and effort went into this. Obviously they put a lot of budget into it, but I think just it took away some of the things that I liked about the first season. And again, that's a me problem, not a everybody. I even specifically looked up, like, it's just like, what are other people's opinion? Am I like Last Jediing this, where it's just like there's a bunch of people who said they like it? It's just like, no, you're wrong. This is bad. And then it's just like, I need to make sure the people who think this is bad aren't like, the people who,
just
like it for wrong reasons. Yeah, exactly.
I do agree that like a lot of the songs are very forgettable because they are that more Broadway style of like, it's a song to move the plot forward. Because I honestly don't remember a lot of the music except for the few small pieces that really stood out to me. So I agree with you there.
I super disagree, to be honest. So like, although I will say, to like the note of like this being more of a musical, it is best listened to as an entire piece. Like this is I could put the soundtrack on, listen to it like front to back, and like that is the intended, like it's telling the story through it, to your point. I will say I think there's a lot of songs in this that are like the voice performance is just so fucking good that like Love in a Bottle is a like such a good song.
That's a good song.
He's having so much fucking fun in this role, and I think I had mentioned this in our previous episode, but a lot of people were like so upset that I am totally blanking on his name, but that voice actor, they were so bummed that he was doing the show. They were trying to save him from doing such like a beneath him show. And I was like, Keith David, if you
Oh yeah.
watch, because they did a lot of behind the scenes for this season, he's having the fucking
Oh
time
yeah.
of his life, and you could hear
Yeah.
it in his inflection when he's singing. Like he is a stunning voice, and like when he sings, it is so fucking effortless for him, and he is having he loves playing Husk,
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
that song is
Yeah,
so fucking catchy.
my response when that song ended was I said out loud, "Well, another banger for Husk."
Oh yeah.
Like just another great song
Yeah,
there.
Oh yeah. No, that definitely once again
so
giving
talented.
Husk the best work. And like Keith David is one of those people who's just like at this point in his career, he's only gonna do stuff if he wants to do it because he doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Literally. But I also think like Gravity is actually, I will say I'm a little biased because Gravity was released before anything else. So I've heard Gravity the longest, which was Lute's song. And actually, I will say that's kind of my Lute's characterization is my only slight like well, I have a
Yeah.
couple criticisms, but that's kind of my biggest criticism of this because like one of the things that this season gets the most shit for, and I do kind of agree with, is the pacing. Um,
Yes.
I give them a bit more of a pass because Vivzy said originally, I think she wanted this to be 12 episodes, and they were like,
Yeah.
you can have
If
8. So
it
which
felt
is
like it definitely felt like there was a lot of stuff that didn't get stretched out. I think that is more or less my bigger criticism. Was just like there's so much stuff that was set up in the first season that doesn't really get addressed in this season. There's characters that get sidelined, like like Lute is a character who's like, yeah, you gave her a really great musical number, but then she doesn't really do much throughout the rest of the show.
Mm.
correct.
Angel gets sidelined, which I thought was like it's just like your most interesting character, and you're not really using them all that much, except for
Intentionally, though. I think he's very intentionally sidelined in this season.
I
So
agree with that. Yeah.
and but it still was one of those things where it's just like okay, so you haven't really explained anything about Lilith still, and just there's so many things that again you set up, don't really approach, and then you spend so much time on the V's, which granted, yes, I understand they were set up to be the big bad of this season, and they did that very
Mhm.
well, but it was one of those things where it's just like this part's dragging for me, and there's other stuff that I wish we were getting to.
I see that.
That's I will say that. Go ahead, Seth.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I was gonna say I see that. But one thing I liked about this season is that it would have been so easy to be like, all right, here's Abel, and he's just a clone of Adam, and it's just gonna be a rerun of the first season of Heaven versus Hell. I liked that they made the V's the main threat this season.
Yeah.
Because it would have been really easy for them to stretch that out for a really long time and have, Vox be like gradually growing power. So that was
Mhm.
something I liked.
I like Vox in general, and like I feel like his voice actor is phenomenal. It's Christian Borle, I believe. Again, so talented, loves this character so much, and hilariously, if either of you know this, he is a notoriously offline person, so for him to be playing this character is like
That's fun.
hilarious. Like he does not do Instagram, he does not do social media at all, so to play this character that is like 100% online all the time, he's just a super fun villain. And I like the V's in general, and I do like also that the show takes a couple of moments for us to feel bad for them, which feels very weird because there's a couple moments where I'm like, don't make me fucking feel bad for Vox, the fucking neo-Nazi over here. Like, don't
Yeah.
do this to me. But they do the same thing with Valentino. Like they take these moments to like show that like yes, these are super fucking awful people, but they also really care about each other, especially Valentino and Velvet. They have these moments where, like, they really love Vox. Valentino, especially, like, is romantically in love with Vox, but he's also the worst fucking person, both of them. So
Yeah.
you
Oh
have
yeah.
these moments where I'm just like, oh, they are people, and something I super fucking love about this season is that we get to see these characters in their like mortal life. That is an angle that I'm
Mm.
so glad that we're exploring because I think it is so interesting, specifically with Pensius. Because I feel like this is an angle that is not really considered. We're talking about like bad people in hell. It's not something that he did to get there. It's something that he didn't do. It was an inaction that caused him to be sent to hell. And I loved all the exploration of their mortal life. So that was like top tier for me in the season.
Yeah, I love that too. I love getting to see, and I love like how you see that like the reason Alistair has the deer motif is because he died because someone thought he was a deer, and that
Mhm.
Vox has a television for a head because he died when a TV fell on his head, and how you're able to like work through other characters' deaths and how they turned out. Because I thought Husk, with his whole like playing card motif was because he was a gambler. But
Yeah.
then you see in a lot of the fight sequences, oh, he was a magician.
Yes.
And how they didn't need to like hold your hand through that. But yes, I also loved seeing Serpentius, Alistair, and Vox as mortals.
I think Serpentius's general arc was probably my favorite of the show in terms of that, like the very fish out of water, and him, oh, I'm in heaven, I'm where I've always wanted to be, and like at the same time, it's just like this is not where I'm supposed to be at
Yeah.
all.
Serpentius is great. I
Oh
go
no, he's
back and
such a
forth on
great
who my
character.
favorite characters are, but I adore Serpentius.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know if I have a favorite character. I will say something I also wanted to mention, and it's something that I really like about season 2 as well, is that Charlie kind of sucks. Charlie sucks a lot, and they
Yeah.
actually get to explore that in this season. Like, despite her being super well intentioned, the notes I have here is she is overbearing, she is impulsive, she means well, but pushes people's boundaries constantly. And like the whole
Self-absorbed.
redemption arc for Angel, like yeah, exactly, like, and it's not necessarily coming from a bad place, but she is very
Yeah,
naive and inexperienced, and Vaggie's doing fucking everything for her, and I
yeah,
love that they got that moment to be like, actually, you're the reason this hotel's not successful." Like, we saw a lot of that in season 1, but I feel like people gave her a lot more of a pass there
yeah,
because it's just like, "Oh, but she just wants to do the right thing." Like, she does, she's just doing it the wrong fucking way this entire season
Yeah.
and last
right.
season too.
Well, and her whole like you mentioned Angel Dust's redemption episode where she's like, "No, I'm going to turn you into Serpentius and I'm just going to do the exact same thing again. And why isn't this working?" And, yeah, she is I clocked that or pinged that.
Yeah.
Uh very much so.
No, one of the interesting things going back the function of the hotel is like now that the hotel's like getting to a point where it's actually being functioning, it kind of gave some of like the foster home for imaginary friends vibe, where it's just like what kind of like interesting
Oh, yeah.
characters can kind of pop up, and I was just like I
Mm.
kind of really want them to lean a little bit more into that, because again, another problem that I had with the refinement of the animation style is like I feel like you miss out on some of those like smaller like snuck in details that you
Mm.
can, and like different kind of like creative things you can do with characters when you don't have to rely on just like models
Yeah.
whatsoever. And
Yeah.
so I really want them to kind of explore like different kind of demons, different kind of centers, all like interacting within the hotel, because a lot of the times they go with like some of the mass shots where you only have like one or two models and the rest of the crowd's just kind of like just a blob.
Yeah. And they
Yes.
relied on that a lot this season. And even
They
like
reuse a lot of people too, unfortunately. Like
yeah.
Prick and Hatchet Return to
Yeah,
Overlords, they are in the background of every fucking shot ever, and I'm like,
yeah,
"Well, we could see more cool demon designs here, but we're still seeing these same, like, 2, 3, 4 characters
yeah.
in every shot always." So,
Yeah, it's one of those
Yeah.
things where it's just like I could take the time to build more models, or I could have all these pre-built models that I can just use to populate a frame.
Well, and
right.
something I noticed is that it seemed like the first season had more background gags in terms of like
Yes.
signed gags and stuff, because there were times during this season that I would pause to read what was happening in the
Yeah.
background and it was nothing.
Yeah,
Um,
and I feel like that was the thing that I was specifically missing, because that was the thing I loved
Mm.
about the first season that I wasn't getting in this season.
yeah, the lemon tree with like the no lemon whores sign, one of my favorite gags ever.
Best bit.
Um, so good. And this one, the only one that really like stood out to me was when Lucifer is holding up his playbill for the
Yep.
Great Duck Gatsby, and then on the back of it it says, "Hey kids, merch available now." That was one that I thought that was
Oh,
the
yes.
only one that really stood
Yeah.
out to me.
There's a lot in his room, actually. If you watch, they have quite a few callbacks to Hell of a Boss. If either of you watched any of
Yeah.
that,
Oh,
so there,
I haven't.
there's a stack of cash in uh, when Veggie is talking to Lucifer. There's a stack of cash from Mammon that says, "This is a bribe, please take." So that,
Oh
that's
my
a
god.
callback to Hell
Okay,
of a Boss.
I paused on that and I was like, I appreciated the "this is a bribe," but then I was like, from Mamam, I don't know who that is. And so if I watched
Yeah,
Hell of
he's
a
in Hell
Boss,
of
I
a
would have
Boss.
appreciated that more. Okay.
Right.
All right.
It's a callback to all the others. I think actually all of the sins are represented in that. Because I think Asmodeus has something in there. The sloth one has one in there as well, and that's all in the background. And it's like purely for Hell of a Boss fans to be like, oh, I know who
Right.
that is. So it was a very brief little side gag, but it was nice to see.
I did love to just checking my notes, the duck season, deer season mugs
Yep.
that Alistair and Lucifer had. That was very fun.
Yeah, definitely having fun with like, the big Cartoon Network Warner Brothers influence in a lot of the kind of bits that they do.
They showed a lot of restraint by not doing any Tex Avery references when Angel Dust is performing at the casino.
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. There's a long-standing bit with Tex. You've seen The Mask, right? With Jim Carrey.
Cameron Diaz.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. You know when Cameron Diaz is on stage and Jim Carrey's face turns into the wolf and starts howling, and then the big heart
Sure.
jumps out of his chest? That's all Tex Avery cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Which also, they showed a lot of restraint having Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy and only having him in a couple of songs.
Patrick Stump.
Patrick Stump.
Patrick Stump.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry.
Look, just because Pete Wentz is the one who's most well known, Patrick Stump is the singer.
I only like one Fall Out Boy album. Leave me the fuck alone.
We've talked about this on our musical episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Clearly not enough, because that's not a cool opinion to have. So, I'm actually not going to fight that hard for Fall Out Boy. I like the songs I like a lot, but I don't like all their stuff. So.
I did have the thought, and it's just like, wow, you really waited all season to go full Fall Out Boy, didn't you?
Yeah. But I did love the character of Abel. Yeah, I thought he was great in that role.
Yeah.
He was a good counter in a way where it's just like he's not replacing Adam. He's clearly not his dad in terms of like that, and like actually creating a character that does create tension, specifically in the context that he's in.
Yeah.
Well, and they're hinting as well. This is not confirmed yet, but I do think it would be very cool. They are saying that because obviously Kane needs to be on screen at some point. And they're saying that they're hoping that lead singer of My Chemical Romance will be the voice actor. I don't know.
Gerard Way would make a great Kane.
And then the Umbrella Academy shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah. I'll take anybody from that era, but that would be especially cool.
That would be awesome.
But then they have to give Mikey Way something to do.
Oh, he can be Seth, the replacement Abel. That was my joke growing up in the church, was because my name is Seth, was that like I'm named after the replacement son, and my name ultimately meant replacement. That was my joke all the time growing up in the church.
It's solid.
Right?
I'm sure they love that.
So, Seth, what did Hazbin Hotel bring up in your religious drama?
No, well, not as much as you'd think, except for the fact that it reaffirmed to me that I would rather go to hell than heaven, because hell looks so much more fun than heaven in this universe.
I think we discussed that in season 1.
Did we?
Yeah, hell seems more like my scene.
Yeah, I looked through to find my notes from season 1. I guess I just didn't take notes because they're just not in my journal.
It was our first homework assignment. We were still figuring it out.
True. But to answer your question of if people liked it, I did get expelled from the youth group at one point. So maybe that should give you insight into who I was in high school.
Would
I love
explain
that for
plenty.
you. Oh my god. One more like small side thing I wanted to mention, just because I feel like this, for whatever reason, this voice actress does not get like her flowers like literally ever. The person who plays Seraphim, like the main Seraphim,
Oh yeah.
has like one of the most gorgeous voices I've ever heard, and I never hear anybody talk about it. She is extremely talented, especially one of like the least liked songs is her Sarah's Confession, which I think is honestly one of the best songs in this, just because of the like the chops in it. Like one, the person who plays the speaker of God played Anastasia from 1,000 years ago, which means a lot to little
Oh,
girl. So, and she
I
still has
love
like a
that.
beautiful voice, like truly angelic voice, and them together, like the riffs are just like, it is just such a beautiful song. And honestly, I like her songs tend to be some of my favorite just because she is so fucking talented. So, I just want to mention that really quick because it's weird that so many people like do not think she's that great, and I'm just like, that's a bummer. I think she's
I
talented top to bottom.
Yeah, no, she is great. I think that comes down to how stacked the rest of the voice acting
Yeah.
cast is, and
Yeah.
how like, because she is great, but she didn't stand above anybody
Right.
else for me when I
No.
was watching it.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think standing above is the right term, but definitely not standing out. It was like, as terms of like such a character-filled show, like yeah, the musical numbers again, like going back to like for them being very forgettable for me, it's just like every number that she had kind of just blends together in my head
Mm.
from listening it, and maybe
Mm.
I need to spend a little bit more time with the soundtrack to really kind of get a sense for it. But like her on a technical level, flawless, like practically flawless as far as like the musical
Yes.
talent. But again, for kind of like where I'm at, it's just like I kind of want flaws, but that's me.
That's fair.
Oh, that's fair. I will say, and especially her first song, um, that episode is extremely music heavy. I think it's
Yeah,
episode 3, and I think they have 3 songs like back to back to back. Like there's
yeah,
very little space in between,
Yeah.
which I
yeah.
don't totally mind, but I know some people were bothered by that.
They front loaded a lot of the musical elements. It's not spaced out. Like the front half of the season's definitely very musical heavy, and they kind of like let things breathe narratively toward the end.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Um,
like I got to a point where I was like, okay, I need a break. I need a break from the musical. I need to pause this for a couple hours and go do something else.
that's super fair. I want to mention as well, and it's leaving my brain right now, but hopefully it'll come back. It's not, but show good. That's what I was gonna say. Are you manifesting it to me? Are you sending it to me telepathically?
That
Um,
speaking of that, this is one thing that I am really glad that the only time I get Hazbin Hotel on my For You page is when the new season comes out and I am not exposed to the fandom
Yes.
at large,
Yeah.
because I absolutely feel that this thing would be Rick and Morty for me. I dropped out
Yeah.
of Rick and Morty before we knew about Justin Roiland and before we knew
Yeah.
about all that, because the fan base was so
I
fucking awful.
I was already fatigued long before we knew anything about that too. But yeah, no, I agree with that, and I think very specifically, yeah, like I know the fan base is pretty toxic, but like you, I'm like not in that circle in my algorithm, so like I'm not inundated with it. And I
mhm.
think probably one of the reasons why the fandom, like, maybe, like, as we all know, is pretty, it's in the Star Wars category. It's just like nobody hates their own thing more than Star Wars fans. Has been, and Hell of a Boss fans seem to hate their own thing quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I
Well,
think one of the things about Has Been is that it is so refined by the studio and Amazon and A24 and everybody who has things on it. I could see like them being very demanding on it, and them just like studios like putting their foot down. It's like, no, we're doing the show we want to do,
mm,
Yeah.
which I respect.
yeah, absolutely. I also I hope they end this series after at most 5 years.
Yeah. I would say.
I do not see how this concept can.
Plan.
Oh, is it?
I believe 5 seasons is a plan. It's either 5 or 6 seasons. So yeah, it's
Oh,
not going to go on
good.
forever. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
the original plan because like she has it plotted out. And if I'm not mistaken, I think actually this plot point with the V's is something that she bumped up because she just wanted to tell
Yeah.
this part of the story.
Mm.
Which I'm like, I don't mind at all because again, like I've always liked the V's as characters. I think they're a very fun dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say you kind of mentioned earlier, I will say, like, the stakes are kind of a lot higher in season 1 from the get-go, which I do think it kinda adds to, like, what people are considering the poor pacing of this one. Because I will say, like, I you mentioned episode 4, and I will say episode 4 is a really big turning point for this because this one is a bit of a slow burn. Because 'cause you're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
we're just dealing with the aftermath, trying to figure out, like, who's doing what," and then all of a sudden, like, really escalates with Vox kinda being awful. So, I do think it's still a very interesting angle. And I like the way it progressed, and I give them a lot of leeway because I can't imagine turning 12 episodes into 8. Like that seems like an impossible fucking
Yeah.
task. So, and I
Yeah.
think they did the best they could with the medium that they had. So I think they still told a very cohesive story, and I think there was still like a lot of moments that like really shocked me that I was still like really impressed by. Like honestly, I the only reason I kind of wanted to have you guys watch season 1, which it was not required by any means, was what some people forgot was the deal that Alistair made with Charlie, and that
Oh,
moment does
yeah.
not hit as well if you don't remember that that happened.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the big
Yeah.
thing.
Luckily,
Or that Alistair is very injured.
yeah. Luckily, I did
Yeah.
remember that. So.
Good.
Yeah. I watched the recap. The Amazon recap that's on
Perfect.
YouTube. And I was like, oh yeah, and they gloss over it. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, no, wait, I remember
Yeah.
that being way more serious than
Yeah.
it was.
Mhm.
Yeah. It is one of those things where there's definitely some blinks and you miss them, and like again, there's a lot of threads that still need to kind of get tied up, and I can see why the decision to bump up the storyline with the V's and like also get it out of the way allows them to approach some of those other threads that need down the line, and they're obviously going to have an opportunity to do that. But yeah, like Seth said, I can't imagine them having any more than 3 more seasons to kind of tell the story that they want to do.
Yeah, I really hope they don't supernatural this
I
and
I
drag it
think
out.
I think she's gonna leave that to Hell of a Boss in terms of exploring that world indefinitely. That seems to be the
It's
better
fair.
avenue for like the avid fan base of this specific world, and like Has Been, I feel like is specifically marketed more to have a little bit more general appeal because people who don't really like Hell of a Boss still seem to enjoy Has Been.
Mm.
I think Hazbin has a little more market appeal, I will say. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I think between the two, I do like Hazbin a little bit more. Hell of a Boss is a little like for lack of a better term, it's a little too unpolished and a little more crass. And I feel like they lean a lot more into that because they can and because they
right.
don't have like corporate overlords like doing anything. So I'm just like, I think it's still fun. I still enjoy both shows quite a bit, but Hazbin
Yeah,
is a little bit better for me. But I get, I get the
yeah.
appeal for both.
Yeah, I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more of the halfway point because I don't want it to go full edge lord, but at the same time, I do still want a little bit of that grit. Whereas, like, it feels like Has-Been's kind of like it's polishing the edges a little bit too much for me.
That's fair.
Yeah, and that's more than fair. And I will say I know a lot of it, which like, because you're talking about like certain plot points that they haven't addressed yet. It's not maybe the best method, but like one like what frustrated me the most about this season was again Loot because I'm just like, okay, they give her this
Yeah,
big like villain song, and then she doesn't
yeah,
really do anything
do
the whole
anything.
season. She has one moment towards the finale where she's shut down very quickly, and I was like, she had all of that buildup for nothing to happen. But that is because they have the full intention of her having more of an arc in season
Yeah,
3. And same thing with
Mm.
Lilith. Like they really want to like keep Lilith in the shadows for a long time because she is such a big character that they're like, we can't bring her in season 2 if we have 5, 6 seasons. She needs to be in the background, constantly talked about and built up so that her reveal is a little bit stronger. So it can be frustrating because I'm like, I think it's more often that people will forget about those things and it's like, oh,
yeah,
it's all right, this
Yeah.
character, they're back. Okay, so but I get they're trying to set up a lot in this universe, so I'll give them a little leeway on that.
Yeah. No,
no,
that's fair.
I imagine that Loot's probably going to be the big bad in the third season. I mean, I can't really think of anybody else you can bring in besides Lilith, but even that, it's just like there's still so much they can do with that character that since really we don't know much about her at this point.
Yeah. No, and this one didn't end on as much of like cliffhanger is not the right word, but it didn't end on so much of a like I know what's coming next, right? I could see
Right.
Vox building up. I could see Alistair, planning his machinations. This one, outside of the phone call from Lilith at the very last scene, there is not much.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And Vox just being ahead now, that's going to be interesting. So I really thought he killed him at first. I was like, oh my God, he just killed Vox. That's horrifying. But
yeah.
Now, so we might mention this in the last episode as well. The last time we talked about this, but I wanted to mention one quick thing about the fan base because like I feel like this encapsulates so well why I don't fuck with this fan base. And again, this is like one of those things like I probably would not wear Hazbin Hotel merch anywhere. I probably would not buy it. I probably would not display it outside of.
You're wearing Alistair ears right now.
Listen, I just like to hear. But like. I will say some of this fan base does skew pretty young, and they don't know how the internet works. Because one of the biggest things that I've heard about this fan base is like the actor who plays Valentino has been violently harassed by people online because they hate his character so much, and they have a hard time separating that is not who he is as a person. Yeah. So, which is like so upsetting because I'm like he's really good in the role. Like it's very nice to like I like. That he got to put a little bit more of because I don't know if y'all know this, but like he was meant to be like a primarily white character, but then when he was doing the like some of the casting like choices, he had started speaking Spanish, and they're like, actually, we're gonna change this character a little bit, and now we have that, which is like it's fun. It's nice to have a little more diversity.
I'm from Florida, you motherfucker. Was a great line.
Yeah, it shined through a lot in this season. I actually kind of appreciated it because it did gave the character more depth than anything else.
Yeah,
100%.
But yeah, it's very unfortunate that we're still dealing with like the Jake Lloydification of fan bases of just like harassing actors for playing a character. Like, come on, guys.
It's funny. You went Jake Lloyd. I went the actress who played Rose. Both Star Wars references.
Also,
she got bullied off or Twitter.
Yep. Just like, hey guys, it's okay to hate a character. Leave the actors alone after that. If you don't like a character, that's fine.
It's
especially these are characters in hell. Like these are characters in hell.
Not only like that,
because they're not good people.
And like also, it's like yes, Valentino is not a likable character. That's the point of his character. You're supposed to hate him. The actor did a fantastic job.
Yeah, you're supposed to hate Joffrey.
Yes,
exactly. It's a great example.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Man. Something that was funny about this season is that I didn't do this for the first one, I don't think, but I started thinking about like how this world works, and a lot of my notes are like, how does money work in hell? Do you have to work a job? Could I go to hell and still be in poverty?
Yes.
Well, Reagan is alive in hell technically, so therefore it's trickle down economics. And
Reagan would be on the council. He would be one of the higher ups, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah. It's just like, what if we got rid of everyone's pensions?
What are pensions? Okay, so we're gonna give everyone pensions, and then we're gonna take them away.
Yeah.
I kept finding myself being like the rating screens would come up for Vox, and I'm like, he owns all of the media distribution. He's already getting all of the ratings. Why does this matter to him? And then I was like, Seth, you're overthinking this. Just yeah.
It's like you have to understand, it's like whatever their sins were in life basically are their prison in hell, and therefore he is a prisoner to the idea of ratings.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, that checks out.
I'm just bullshitting.
No, I think that's accurate.
No,
So.
but that aligns.
That sounds like something
series.
Vimsy Pop would say.
Probably.
Something she makes up at a panel.
It is weird living in an age where creators can just say things at a panel and suddenly that's canon.
Yeah,
Yep.
I kind of wish some would get away from the J.K. Rowlingness of just like, what do my fans want? Okay, that's canon now.
Oh, before toilets, they just wizarded away their poop. Actual thing J.K. Rowling added to the Harry Potter lore.
Hey, that was just back when that was when the black mold spores were just wee baby mold spores.
That was when things were just getting rocking. We've talked about Harry Potter so much.
I was about to say, okay, so it's like Bria's told me that I'm wrong. She's threatened to quit. We've talked about J.K. Rowling. We've talked about modern politics. What are we missing? Oh, Seth's religious trauma.
Seth's religious trauma's in there.
Seth's religious trauma. Seth's religious trauma is free space.
Yeah, that comes up every episode. I don't know. Have I said this on air or not? But I had a girlfriend in my early 20s. I like the Harry Potter movies fine. And then in my early 20s, I dated a Potterhead. I dated someone who was like obsessed with them. And we had a marathon one day because it was a blizzard out. I got snowed in at her apartment, couldn't leave. And so she puts on all the movies and proceeds to tell me all of the lore and everything that they changed from the books and everything J.K. Rowling had added to the lore since the book's release. And I walked away from that experience fucking hating this universe. Just like, and this is 2013, 2014, well before we knew anything about J.K. Rowling. And I was walking away going, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Yeah, I think people shouldn't I think really in general nobody should like a thing that much. You know what I mean? Like it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
And like everything has so many flaws. It's just like life is too complicated and like the new Court of Thorn and Roses book is coming out and people are so excited for it. I was like, she's a known Zionist, guys. Let's just leave this alone. So
yeah.
Don't dive too deep into anything. They're probably bad people. Don't hitch your wagon with that.
Oof, that's rough. That's a rough one.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's no Lights Out, but
still. Oh lordy.
Personal story. I mentioned Lights Out on this podcast a while ago, and then like 2 months later, M posts a story of the books that she bought and Lights Out was in them. And I was like, oh, good. She's going to get to experience that.
Oh, yeah, no. And I think she was actually reading it one day on the couch and she was just like live reacting right next to me to some of the things.
It's incredible. I listened to the audiobook version. Incredible. Absolutely incredible work.
So I need to check it out. Is that what you're telling me? Should I add it to my list?
Yes. it is a
absolutely.
It's a dark romance of like a stalker and him building a relationship with the person that he's been stalking. It is the funniest thing I think I've ever listened to. I got zero eroticism out of it. I thought it was purely hilarious.
So it's not like You or like the show.
I was about to say, my mind went to You for some reason.
This is the second time someone has mentioned the show You to me, and my first thought was like, what are you referencing me for? Right, the show. Oh my god!
It's like you give serial killer vibes, Seth. That's what we're trying to tell you. We actually are really concerned. Are there bodies in your basement right now?
I am in the basement, and technically, yes, because I am a body.
Bo,
and also all of the skeletons.
You're not bodies anymore, so
no. I think once you take them apart, they're pieces, right? They don't count as actual bodies.
Semantics.
It's
just like, well, some of it is now compost. The rest of it is decoration.
Well, you got to keep those skulls, right?
Oh yeah,
Don't want to
yeah,
be
of course.
wasteful.
Yeah.
You gotta be an ethical killer. Oh, goodness.
The
Any
directions
other
I could
thoughts,
go
comments,
after
concerns?
that. As far as this show is concerned, no, I think I mentioned all my notes. I I really liked it. This is a good show. I'm glad I'm not a part of the fan base. I don't think I'll ever watch Hell of a Boss. Um, I really like this. I really enjoyed it. And like I said at the front, I was tearing up during the last episode when they are all coming together and everything. It it makes me feel emotions, and I'm not comfortable with that.
Love that I can do that for you.
Thank you.
But no,
It's
I more or
always me,
less.
apparently.
But yeah, I agree that it is a good show. I don't necessarily think that the show was for me, and I had the same opinion of the first season. Granted, I did enjoy the first season a lot more than this one, but I think it's more or less just like some of the things that I liked about the first season were starting to kind of get eroded away in this season, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means the show's clearly not appeal. Like, I am not the target demographic of the show, and therefore, I'm not gonna ding it for that.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I think this show is super fun. I have a lot of love for it. I think this universe is very interesting. I think the characters are really interesting. I think the performances are like so great across the board. And yeah, I'm like I listen to the soundtrack like very regularly. Like I adore it. It's just that the performances are so fucking good, and I'm excited to see where they go with it. I think again, I wouldn't publicly say that I'm a fan of it by any means, but
Yeah.
I think I will
Except on a
quietly.
massive public forum like a podcast.
Yeah, well, that'll never happen. So don't worry about that. This is just a fever dream, so that's totally fine.
Everybody send your Hazbin Hotel merch to Bree's address at
Yes.
dox me at
.gov. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you liked it. And also, I wanted to mention, I'm so glad you mentioned like the fight choreography because that's another thing that I don't feel like gets enough flowers because I'm like, it is so engaging and I love how different everyone's power sets are. It's just really fun. I like, especially Husk. Like, I just feel like he has like so many like different, like, it's a very clear like theming to his power set, but it's still very there's rings, there's like the cards, there's like so it's so fucking fun to watch. So
he pulls a dark magician and does a mystic box at one point.
yes!
And I love that.
All right, Yu-Gi-Oh reference now gets added to the bingo card.
I like Velvet's power set too. That's the first time we saw that this season, and that like the whole social media and using things like and the witchcraft, super fun. So yeah, I have a lot of love for the show, like I mentioned. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. So there's a lot of cool theories because I know something we didn't really talk about too much, but everybody assumed that Lilith was the one who had Alistair's like soul, but it was Rosie, which was kind of unexpected, and now he doesn't have that contract anymore. So
no, and he
they keep
has
talking about
her
something.
presumably.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of interesting directions that can be taken with the seasons going forward. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I wish it wasn't on Amazon because
yeah,
so fun. I don't use Amazon like ever. And I didn't realize that if you have like the base level of Prime, you still have to pay $2.99 a month to get it ad free. I'm like,
oh
eat
yeah,
a dick.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm already paying for this. Are you fucking? Subscription models have gotten out of control.
It's only gonna get worse once Paramount officially has.
Oh my god!
Warner Brothers stuff. That's gonna be a pain in the dick.
Fuck, that is just the worst thing.
Yep, sorry.
It was already bad when Netflix was buying them.
Yeah,
and now it's Paramount.
Couldn't it be a worse media company buying them? That's not true.
God.
But
yeah,
the worst one that actually could afford it.
Yes, the worst one that could afford it. Oh my god.
It's just like I know this is like an ice cold take, but I was like, I just like, what am I paying for if I still have to watch like 5 minutes of ads every couple of minutes.
Yeah.
That's insane. What am I paying for? I'm so confused.
I know monopolies are bad, but it was a lot better when we just all had Netflix just had everything.
Yes.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
And just like everybody
when
just
it was just Netflix and Hulu. Those were the only two. Hulu was just for getting caught up. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No, you're good.
Hulu was just for getting caught up on old episodes of a show, and Netflix is for everything else. But please continue.
Correct.
Yeah, and they even were more profitable back in the day because all they had to do was license their stuff to Netflix. That's all they had to do. They did not have to upkeep streaming services. It's like Netflix funded the cost for the streaming, and you just licensed out your content and you made money off of it. And now everybody's not profiting because they have to upkeep platforms and keep making content for the platforms. And nobody watches the content on the platforms.
I know, dude. I found I got into a conversation a little while ago where we started talking about like, well, like what TV shows are you watching? And I was like, YouTube?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, me too. And I was like, yeah, because I don't know. I open Hulu and I scroll for a little while. I get overwhelmed. I open Netflix. I scroll for a minute, get overwhelmed, and then I just go back to YouTube.
Yep.
Absolutely.
No, during a department meeting on Thursday at my work, it was just like the opening small talk was like, it's just like, oh, here's all the TV stuff I'm watching. It's just like, I have not watched any of this at all. No. And it's just one of those things where it's just like, I'm like, granted, some of it's stuff that like I'm not interested in watching. Like they were talking about Night of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm just like, was never a Game of Thrones fan.
That in front of Seth.
Yeah, well, it's just like was never a Game of Thrones fan, so just like don't really care. But Seth likes it, and so that makes me happy.
Dude, I have come to terms with the fact that I am actually a Game of Thrones fanatic. I fucking love this universe way more than the average person should. I've read the books twice. I'm in it. And I'm subscribed to 3 different YouTube channels that just talk about Game of Thrones lore. I
love that for you, genuinely.
I'm just glad that they finally gave you. I'm just glad they finally gave you something to talk positive about for the first time in like what feels like almost a decade.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, but we're gonna get that 6th book. It's coming. I believe it.
Any day now.
Any day.
Oh my goodness.
Severance is also very good, if neither of you have watched that.
That's on Apple TV, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never going to watch that.
All right, fair.
The day I give Apple money.
I'll just find somebody who has a subscription already. So that's and I think I bitched about this on another episode, but like heaven forbid you want to just use one service that's bundled, because that's not allowed. You're not allowed to do that. I once I forgot what show and I gave up on it because it was so difficult. I wanted to watch something on Hulu, but they made it so difficult for me to just get a Hulu subscription because they're like, don't you want a bundle though? But what if you got this bundle? But what if you bundled it with this? And I was like, I just want Hulu. And then they gave me like the worst possible deal. They're like, well, what if you paid like $24 a month and there were still ads? Does that sweeten the deal for you? And I'm just like,
yeah, the amount I'm paying for my Hulu, like just to like not have ads and like just kind of have a few things bundled and that I could watch. It's just like, can I please get rid of like 3 of these things in the bundles and have it be like $10 cheaper? It's like, no, you have to have all that stuff.
It's cable now.
And that's the thing. They spend so much time and energy disrupting just to basically just bring it all back.
Well, it was funny because I remember like a handful of years ago, this is like 2019, 2020, the main consensus on the internet was like streaming is better than cable. It's cheaper than cable. And I was like, until they get a monopoly. Yep. It is only cheaper right now. It's going to get more expensive. And everyone was like, and then here we are today, and it's just cable again.
Yep.
And like
Uber is just taxis.
Yep. Except
it's just as bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've recently, and maybe we've talked about this on the show before, but I've recently delved into Tubi, which
you're welcome.
has a thank you. It has a lot of problems because evidently they advertise for ICE and like ICE recruitment and other things. The only ads I see on Tubi are for Ozempic, which I don't know what that says about me and my viewing habits.
All day today.
Oh, was it?
Oof.
Yeah, that's rough. I got. But I have found myself really enjoying the Tubi library, even though there are ads, because it's completely free.
Right.
Because
you can tolerate ads as long as you're just like, okay, I didn't pay for this. Okay, you're going to give me an ad. There's a certain amount of tolerance you have. I'm paying $15 a month. You better not show me a fucking ad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. What a world this is the future. It sucks. It sucks so fucking bad.
My God, remember when the future was bright and we couldn't wait to be here, and then we get here and it's just shit?
I know, because Airbnb is a good example of that too, because that fucking sucks now too. Hotels are the better thing to do now.
No, I have never used an Airbnb because every time I have traveled since Airbnb's existence, the people I was traveling with were like, hey, we found this Airbnb for like $250 a night. And I'm like, yeah, and I found a hotel closer to where we want to be for $75 a night.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, let's just use that instead.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a nightmare. It's again, this future, the worst fucking timeline. If only Coolio was Scarecrow, and then everything would have been fine. But, you know,
it all comes back to Coolio as Scarecrow.
Harambe wouldn't have died. Punch the Monkey wouldn't have been abandoned by his mother.
Oh God, I cannot engage with that. The second I see those pictures, I'm just like ruined. I cannot.
Another monkey has taken them under their wing. I did see that.
Okay, good. I can't with the pictures with them with that little stuffed animal. I'm like, I can't do this today. I'm
not right
now.
All right, so what's our homework?
I'm very sorry. We have been doing too many good things recently. So I want to do one of my favorite bad movies of all time. The 1993 Sylvester Stallone classic, Demolition Man.
Oh, that's a great movie. What the fuck are you talking about?
I love it. I fucking love it. It predicts iPads, VR sex,
Taco Bell winning the franchise awards.
Taco Bell being the only franchise that matters. It is one of my favorite bad movies of all time. I adore this film, and I really want to talk about everything wrong with it.
Excited.
This will be a fun one.
All right. I'm glad you both are on board.
All right. Well, anyways, that is our show, everyone. I am TCK Media Productions on most platforms. You have the Raccoon Lunar herself with her adorable hair, with her adorable ears, and then you have that Seth with the majestic mustache and everything that you can see on the Tiki of Talkies. We appreciate you guys, and we will catch you guys next time.
Bye.